As spring is in full swing, we're talking about all things spring cleaning and decluttering. And I really wanted to take some time this week to talk about decluttering your energy. Not something most people talk about. And as moms, our energy is getting pulled into so many different directions. And I'm not just talking about the physical things we have to do. I'm talking about the mental load we carry, the obligations we carry, that extra weight on our shoulders. And today we're diving into something that feels so heavy sometimes, but can also be so freeing once you actually start doing it. And that is letting go. And speaking of letting go, if you're looking for some extra help with decluttering your physical stuff too, make sure you grab my free spring cleaning made simple guide because I'm all about making things simple for us moms. We need it. This guide is filled with really easy, practical tips to help you clear the clutter without getting completely overwhelmed. So make sure you go grab it now. The link is in the show notes, and it's also in my bio on Instagram if you check that out at mom.wife.career.life. All right, let's dive in. Are you feeling overwhelmed trying to juggle all the many hats you wear as a working mom? Do you want more quality time with your family without distraction of work and time alone to take care of yourself and your needs? Welcome to Mom Wife Career Life. I'm Carrie, a wife, mom of 3, and a recovering perfectionist. In this podcast, I will teach you how to create balance in your life by implementing healthy habits, organizing your home and your schedule, being intentional with your time and in your relationships, and most importantly, how to start putting your needs first because no one can pour from an empty cup. Grab that second cup of coffee, or if you're anything like me, your third. It's time to dive into today's episode of Mom Wife Career Life. Today, we're talking about letting go of what no longer serves you in this season of life. Because the truth is, what got you here might not be what you need to move forward. And clinging to those old habits, those old expectations, even those old versions of ourselves, it can really be a huge part of why we feel stuck, why we feel overwhelmed, or honestly, just why we feel so tired all the time. And if you're feeling stretched thin, frustrated, or even just a little disconnected from yourself lately, this episode is for you. Today, I'm walking you through how to recognize what is no longer serving you and how to actually start letting go without the guilt, without apology, and without waiting for someone else's permission. Let's get into it. Step 1 is to recognize what feels heavy or forced. In order to let go, you need to notice what you're feeling constant resistance from. What are the tasks, the habits, the commitments that make you feel like you're dragging a boulder uphill every week? What used to bring you joy but now feels like you're just checking a box off? What relationships or routines leave you feeling more drained than lighting you up? Because sometimes the things we're clinging to, the packed calendar, the volunteering, the endless group texts, those old expectations, they made sense for a version of us then, but they don't all fit us now. So take some time with this. Look through your calendar, look through your to-do list, look at your emails, your text messages. And as you're looking at each item, take a second to pause and really ask yourself, is this still serving the woman I'm becoming? And if the answer is no, it's okay to bless it and then release it. Step 2 is give yourself permission to change. This is the part we also don't talk about enough. You're allowed to evolve. You're allowed to outgrow roles, routines, friendships, even versions of your own identity. Maybe you were the PTA rock star 2 years ago. Maybe you used to love saying yes to every weekend event. Maybe you used to get up at 5 a.m. and crush a workout. If that's not you right now, it doesn't mean you failed. It means you grew. Seasons change, and so do you. The best gift you can give yourself is permission to pivot. And sometimes you may feel that you need permission from someone else to pivot. And if that's you, here is my permission for you to pivot. And a little side story. I know I talked about my Mornings Meet Simple workshop that I'm launching. Well, it was supposed to be last week, and I was really pushing myself hard to meet that date. And when I say I was pushing myself hard, I was pushing myself hard because I had a couple of personal challenges that I had to focus a lot of my attention on, and I was struggling big time. And one of the moms in my business accountability pod, she gave me permission to change the date and to allow myself the room to just breathe and honestly to really enjoy our North Carolina trip with Ashley, because if I didn't change the date, I would have spent every free minute in the hotel room working away, especially after our basement flooded the day before we were supposed to leave. And I had that entire day blocked out to really knock out a lot of my workshop stuff. But her just saying, I give you permission to change the date, such a release for me. And it's really sad that sometimes we can't just give ourselves that permission as easily. And another side note, if you are interested in my Mornings Made Simple workshop, check out the show notes for the link with more information and get yourself on that waiting list that's only open for a few more days and you get 50% off. Step 3, start small, create the space first. Letting go doesn't have to mean burning everything down and moving to Bali, although that does sound kind of wonderful right now, but it can start with tiny shifts. Say no to one extra commitment this month. Let go of the idea that your house has to look Pinterest perfect every day. Remove one thing from your daily to-do list that's just not necessary anymore. And this one's really important. Unfollow one social media account that doesn't make you feel good. Or 10, seriously. If I'm looking at someone's posts and I find myself getting lost in comparison and feeling negative, I completely unfollow them. I want to be able to open my social media and feel inspired, not feel crappy about myself, like I'm not good enough or I don't have enough because I'm comparing myself to them. It's not healthy. Comparison is the absolute thief of joy. These small baby steps eventually create big emotional space. And you don't have to do it all at once. It just takes that first next step. Step 4, focus on what you're making room for. Here's the beautiful part. When you let go of what no longer serves you, you make room for what does. You make room for peace, for laughter, for creativity, for rest, for new dreams that actually align to the person you are now, not who you were 5 years ago. Because Lord knows I've changed a lot in the past 5 years for the better. Letting go isn't losing, it's choosing. You're choosing yourself, choosing your family, choosing your right now priorities. This podcast and starting a side business is basically a second part-time job. It doesn't leave time for any of the extras that I used to do, especially the volunteer work I used to do. And I had to get okay with letting go of volunteering so much. And it comes with the mindset. I wanted to serve my community when I could, but now I serve in a different way. I serve you, my listeners, helping other moms that might be struggling out there. And I have a far wider reach now with this podcast than I did with just my community, which I do help my community a little bit here and there, but just nowhere near as much. And did I feel guilty at first for stepping back in certain places? Absolutely. But it really allowed me to make space for the woman I'm becoming and the life I really want to build for myself and for my family. Step 5, expect some discomfort, but do it anyway. Let's be real. Letting go can feel very uncomfortable at first. You might second guess yourself. You might feel guilty, or if you're a people pleaser, you're going to feel very guilty. You might worry about disappointing people. That's normal, but guess what? Discomfort is the cost of growth. You're not doing it wrong because it feels hard. You're doing it right because you're brave enough to make space for a better life, for what lights you up. And I do want to be real for a second because letting go sounds beautiful on a podcast, but in real life, it can get messy and it can get emotional and it's not always easy. I had to let go of being the say yes to everything mom. For a long time, I felt like if I wasn't showing up for every event, volunteering for every school committee, saying yes to every favor, I was somehow failing my kids. But you know what I learned? My kids don't need a mom who's doing everything. They need a mom who's present, a mom who's not running herself into the ground, a mom who's able to laugh and actually enjoy their basketball games, their football games, and not stress about the volunteer sign-up sheet. It took me time and honestly, some tears to let go of that version of myself, to let go of the fear of judgment from other moms who might question why I'm not helping. But now when a sign up or a volunteer request comes out, I stop and I ask my kids if they even want me to sign up and be there. And if they don't care, then I don't sign up. Or I take a minute to understand what the ask is. Is it just to do something on that one day at that one event? Or will it take time leading up to the event? Because that has seriously bit me in the butt. You need to know exactly what you're committing to. And once I do all that, I then decide if it's something I want to do or if it will cause me more stress. And if it's going to cause me more stress, I don't sign up or I decline in a very respectful way. And if parents judge me, let them. I can't control how other people feel. And I know my mental health is more important than worrying about what other people might think. And you know what? I feel so much lighter now. And you deserve to feel that way too. Letting go doesn't have to be dramatic. It can be really simple and powerful, like letting go of staying at work every night and setting a true boundary around 5 p.m. Letting go of the idea that your house has to look Pinterest perfect every day, although it is nice to walk into that picture perfect house, but it's not sustainable, especially if you have little ones. Or letting go of being that perfect mom and showing up as the present mom instead. Letting go of the friendships that feel one-sided and exhausting. This is probably the hardest ones, but honestly, one of the most freeing. But big or small, every time you let go of what's weighing you down, you're creating space for peace. And that's worth it. You're worth it. Let's normalize the growth. Let's normalize letting go. Let's normalize making choices that feel good instead of just expected. You're allowed to change. You're allowed to choose peace over pressure. You're allowed to live your life differently than you did in your last. I'm so proud of you for even thinking about what needs to be released. And I would love to hear what that one thing is that came to mind as you're listening to today's show and what you want to release. You can DM me on Instagram at mom.wife.career.life and let me know. I would love to help motivate you and keep you accountable. I'm really just that one DM away. Sending you so much love and light until next time on Mom Wife Career Life with Carrie Pat. Before you go, if you found this podcast helpful, I would be so grateful if you would take a minute, go on over to iTunes and leave me a review. If you have other stressed out mamas in your life that you feel this podcast could help, take a screenshot of this episode, post it on your Instagram stories and tag me, and let them know that they are not alone and they can create balance in their life too. If there's a topic you'd like me to cover or you just want to connect, DM me on Instagram at mom.wife.career.life or come on over and hang out in our free Facebook community, Work-Life Balance for Working Moms. Sending you so much love and light until next time on Mom Wife Career Life with Carrie Pat.